All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And all right, we got ourselves a situation. Sentaro seems to be saying goodbye.
Yep. That's worrisome.
But what does that mean, Sentaro?
Exactly. What kind of goodbye?
What kind of goodbye?
I need to just, go away and clear my head for a bit.
Yeah.
I need to,
Yeah.
at least get out of the... Why is he saying goodbye to Kaoru, right? Because getting out of the house, whereas leave.
No,
you could just
exactly.
be like, hey, I
Right.
need to find another place, but, yeah. And then meanwhile, we have Kaguya Lover's War stuff with almost kiss, love confession, and then immediate time skip with nothing happening.
Nothing happening.
Wait a couple episodes.
Yeah. So y'all, whoa!
昨日様子がおかしかったから言ってんだよ。穴さんか。ボケどくかバカ。どいたらもう帰ってこないつもりだろ。どっかへ逃げちまうんだろ。いつからそんな臆病者になったんだ。分かってたら何もいいことないって言ってたのは。
お前ら何しよっとか小雁朝っぱらから同じただいま。
あ、父ちゃんだ。父ちゃんおかえり。おかえり。お土産は？お土産ある？入られんよ。
ずっと家ば開けてすまんかったな。
乾いたよ。見て兄ちゃん。
おお、よかったな太一。それと
It's for you.
センタロウ。
Drumsticks.
万年筆だ。いいな兄ちゃん。
小雁タッカモン。おいには子供が親に。
Yeah.
親に。
Those words are shaking him to his core right now.
Dude.
Oh, shit.
今日は練習来るのか。
ああ、今日から文化祭に向けて猛練習だい。
本当だな。
本当だい。
Not looking at each other.
Yeah, what the hell? I mean,
文化祭に？
はい、親父さんにもベースとして参加してもらいたいんです。
そがん急に言われてもな。大人はなんかと忙しい。
yeah.
俺は絶対負ける気のせんばい。
Oh my god, wait.
Are we actually gonna... But like the title of the episode.
Yeah.
今一生合わせの最中なんだ。
Wow.
今年ばかりは絶対に君たちには負けられないからね。
花がないよ俺たち。
We have any razzmatazz?
じゃああいつらに勝てないかもしれない。
ジャズに興味のなかやつば引きつけるとは難しかな。
The song she's humming.
Oh.
Yes.
10 days left?
Yes.
断るなら今のうちばい。やると決まったら手加減なしでいくけんな。でまあ断ってほしいは半ばって。
千の言う通りだ。俺たちに力を貸して。
All right. Their little celebration. That's cute.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers and kittens.
Sandra just
and
sleeps throughout.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Green-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels.
Silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Oh, I see the three of them. Okay. Favorite things, yes.
家に向かってくる誰かさんの足音。
Oh.
地下室でピアノとドラムがじゃれる。
Uh-huh.
二人の男の子の笑い声。
Oh.
ドラムとスイカと握り飯。
Yes.
それがおいのお気に入り。
なんねん。センタロウったら。
あ、忘れていっとる。まあジャズに楽譜なんかいらんしな。明日渡せばよかるわ。
あら、どこ行くと？
忘れ物届けにひとっ走り行ってくる。
カオルさんなら結構前に出たけん追いつかれんかもしれんよ。
わかっとるわかっとる。
Jesus, no! No!
Really?
No!
Really?
No!
しかし遅いな。
Jesus.
いや
昨日バイクで事故に遭って病院に運ばれた。
Okay, okay, so he's alive. It's gonna be his hand.
りっちゃん、落ち着いて。病院には俺が確かめに行ってくる。畜生、何度も駆け下りたはずの坂道がこんなにも長く感じるなんて。
Oh my god.
昨日の
順番にご案内しますのでお並びください。あ、ちょっと。
Oh
このまま目覚めんこともあるかもしれない。
no!
お医者様が
No!
言葉言うな。
そうですよ。あいつは喧嘩で血まみれになっても平然と笑ってるくらいのやつですよ。
なんでか知らんけど。
Yeah, I thought I saw the head of someone on the back of his bike.
それで車にぶつかって
Shit.
It's not Sentaro?
怪我ばしとるばって無事です。
Oh! Oh
さっきまで
shit!
ここにおったとに。
あいつの行きそうなところと言っ
The
たら
roof, the roof, yeah.
Uh-huh.
きっと
It's a very particular song to have.
I think
For
this
this
is what
moment.
they're playing at the concert right now.
Oh,
the other
sure.
team. Oh. Okay. Okay.
どっかで見た天使様のお出ましや。連
Uh,
れて行くなら、幸子ちゃんのお手をおいにしてくれんですか。天使様、なんでおいは
oh.
自分の一番守りたかもんば。
It's okay,
自
buddy.
分で傷つけてしまうとやろか。おいは一体何のために生まれてきたとですか。ボン、どがんした。おい、なんでお前
He's like, I'm just.
お互い泣いてるところ見られないで済むだろ
お互いってないや。大が
う。泣いていいんだ。せ、今までよく一人で耐えてきたな。
Oh. Yeah, this is way more important than some stupid concert. Oh, is she awake? Oh.
さっちゃんよかった。あれ、せんと出て行ったかのように見えたあいつはそのまま姿を消してしまい、文化祭もあっけなく終わってしまった。これ食べられるなら。
千兄ちゃんどこに行ったかしら。でもうち足捻挫しとったから。
Oh, so she
足の
feels
痛か痛かって
bad.
騒いだと。さっちゃん、今は治すことだけ考えんば。仙太郎はすぐ帰ってくるよ。兄ちゃんに元気な顔見せたから。カオルさん、仙太郎もし戻ってこいやったら
Ugh.
安心よ。
あいつのことだ。きっとこっちが油断してる時にフラッと出てきたりするよ。
そうよね、戻ってくるよね。
あ、
カオルさんはどこへも行かんでね。
心当たりか。すまんが、
Okay.
私にもわ
All
か
right,
らん
that's a
な。
good place to check.
神父様、あいつこれを置いてったんです。
Oh, yeah. By leaving the rosary behind.
ロザリオを肌身離さず持っているが、
Yeah.
それを手放してしまえば、自分が世界から切り捨てられてしまいそうで怖いからだと言うとったが。
Oh. Letting out all his emotions in the drums. Yeah.
Let's feel a bit closer.
Yeah, you get to hear.
千のやつが戻ってきたかと思うたばい。
親父さん、あいつは
なんよとや、ボン。
できないんです。
God. Ugh. Well,
This show.
they give us so much hope and then just kicked us in the dick again with a scare that was actually not a death scare, but oh, no, that was...
Yeah.
That was all it took, was that he feels like he nearly killed one of his kind of cruel show. That was actually like I call foul. I call foul.
I do
this,
too.
because this was something where Jacob and I joked about this almost. Like Sentaro is the kind of character where he's like almost too perfect and too chaotic and too much, you know.
Manic Pixie Dream Boy.
Yeah, and of course then he has to die, right? And it's like no, of course he won't die.
He's not going to die.
But instead they gave us a things that made him who he was.
And the thing is that the reason that it happened, the things that I dislike is that it was basically an act of God, something that never could have been predicted. Oh, an accident, right?
Lightning struck you.
Right, exactly. And you happened now. It wasn't that Sentaro died, because that would have been way too cliche and on the nose. You know, this girl that's basically my sister, my little sister, almost died because of me. But then
I've
also
been spending all these years, you know, protecting and raising them.
Exactly. But then also I just barely and he ended up extending the olive branch
of being like, hey, don't turn down a gift from your parent. And it's like, oh shit.
Right, like there's
he wants to apologize and make things right.
Yep.
He wants to try again.
And then after that, then this happens that makes Sentaro then freak out, because then it's the, you know, in addition to the guilt himself, right? Then wife. Or his grandma. Yeah, right.
Well,
right, exactly. Yes. And then and so shit. You know, I guess I need to get out of here. No, but the thing is, works is because it's something where he didn't say anything, he just left, right? And that's a lot more understandable as a character decision, because it's a decision that you come to on your own in an enclosed space with no one around you to grab you and hold you there, right?
In the beginning of the episode,
Kaoru
grabs him and holds him
there, and it's like, hell yeah, that's awesome, right? You know, Kaoru knows that he was getting worried, right? So he goes and he sits outside his front door. Awesome. Love it.
And he wasn't even really able to stop him. It was more the awkwardness of all these other people that he cares about, seeing them like this, that made him kind of stop. So in a lot of ways, he was still thinking probably about leaving, but it was then when the uncle said, oh no, you know, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try and make this work.
Yeah.
And cool. They did a bunch of accident is kind of about the same thing as random terminal disease showing up at the last second.
But then also on top of that, the whole thing of, oh, my twisted ankle and I'd been complaining about it. So then that meant that she also specifically wanted to go with Sentaro to deliver the thing to Kaoru that Kaoru had left behind, when even though they're next door neighbors, it's still something like, it felt kind of like goes and finds him on the roof. If he had gotten there and it was just already done and Sentaro was gone, I would have understood that, right?
Right.
Even though it still would have felt cheap because of the whole, a car accident, you get struck by lightning, whatever,
so
right?
We get a wonderful scene.
We get a wonderful scene where Sentaro actually, that communicates to me a level of acceptance of what's going on, right?
Well,
or at the very least,
I think it communicates that he's willing to express his emotions in this case, and he's actually willing to share that.
That's not like acceptance in like an absolute sense where everything is resolved, but acceptance of the feelings that this causes, right? And because he's letting himself experience them, right?
Okay, sure.
And then after that, he leaves.
Well, like, it was like, to put it in context, it was after the whole time was basically just being like, don't let her die, don't let her die. He's probably just praying constantly. And then he left the rosary behind, probably because he no longer wanted to pray anymore. He's abandoning this whole aspect of himself.
You know, if this is worth anything, let it save her.
Yeah. And then also, I will now either let myself be lost to the world, or I will go out into the world without any fear of being lost to it. And that's why I set this aside here.
Sure.
And that would be the instance, I would say, if that's the reason, then that's probably the reason then why he'll come back really months.
Right. He basically intentionally goes out to have his dark night of the soul, you know, and make sure that he's like, okay, you know, who am I? What's this whole situation here? Get all that stuff resolved and then come back, right? And And with that, it's like, okay, cool.
And the boy is dying here, basically. This is basically the man will come back.
Yeah, we're no longer going to be kids on the slope.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So that feels literal years.
Yep.
And the boy literally no longer exists because he's literally grown up.
Yep.
So okay.
And the problem with that is
Yeah.
that and the thing is that that's the direction that I see the show more likely to go, given the penchant that it has for drama, kind of for the sake of drama. And if that happens, even when he comes back, I don't know if I'll see it as being satisfying, because it'll feel like Sentorou's character was sacrificed for the sake of having a dramatic finale and conclusion to the show. And then if he does come back, that doesn't necessarily solve everything, because then there would actually be a whole host of other issues, you know, of like Sentorou, you had issues with feelings of abandonment and stuff, and you just basically abandoned these people here. Now, granted,
that doesn't have any like complete like, you know, that
okay.
could fit.
Well, oh, sure, okay, but with if it ends up being the years kind of a thing, there's the okay, what was the amount of time that you needed, right, in order to take care of this issue that you felt needed to be addressed only by running?
But that's not what I think he's doing for me.
Sure, and
it's
that
running. It's not. It's not trying to solve the problem.
Oh, okay, right,
sense.
and so. Yeah, and I mentioned the idea of it being running, but
okay.
But if that's the case, then him coming back, that doesn't actually resolve a conflict. That sets up a new conflict, because now you've hurt all these people that you cared about by disappearing, right? Yeah. And it was specifically just for the purpose of running and things like that. And if it's for years and stuff, then that allows for the hurt to happen, for it to go deep, and for them to also deal with it and heal from it and everything. And then you come back later. You might not necessarily have a place in their life, right? Then there's things that you need to make right because of what happened, you know. So and generally with the finale of a series, you don't want to introduce new plot conflicts, right? Yeah. And I feel like that would kind of possibility is that he kind of never comes back, right? And that
there's a small chance of that happening too.
Yeah.
I think the best way they could handle that is by giving us a third-person omniscient view of where he's at.
Sure. Yeah.
And that it's this thing of where he's like, yeah, I'm doing okay, but that will always exist as a fond memory in my mind, but I can't go back to that.
Right. And then maybe when they're like grown-ass adults and like a ways down the road, then it's like you get a serendipitous like coincidental meeting or something, and it's like, oh, hi.
And then that, you know.
Yeah, something like that.
The conflict of the past doesn't really matter.
Uh-huh.
And really that's the other is that if it's actually a long time, like many, many years, most people with seeing Sentorou again would be just so happy to see him at all. Like, oh my God, please just sit with me. And then,
right.
Do you want to go practice? You know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah.
And then they sort of like, it's rusty, but they dust off the
right. And given that this is a one-court show, I think personally that they're close enough at this point that one of the things that would be a very realistic response is if he came back wanting to apologize and trying to make things right, and Kaoru was like, no. You're always trying to make things right. You're always trying to. Always trying to be the better person. You're always trying to do this stuff. And like, just let me forgive you. Like, let me just
shut up and let's hug.
Yeah,
you know?
Shut up and let's different directions. But that they still are able to.
They will always be kids on the slope.
Well, they will always be that, yeah. But they will always have like, you know, the music that they can come through together, even though they might not ever fully understand the depths of which it drove Sentorou to leave in this point here. Because I don't kind of quickly just kind of brushed aside through the idea of, hey. Like
turn it into a powerful character decision moment of that plot conflict that could come up. Nope, sweeping it aside.
Yep. You're way more important to me than holding on to some aspect of the past that could be a bitterness thing. Whereas I would actually spend way more of my energy holding on to the memories that we shared, like that little wonderful moment talking about our favorite things.
Yep.
And then Kaoru can be like, these are my favorite things.
Right.
And then
And to be fair with this show, but when it comes to music, they can play together and speak volumes, 1,000 words in a second, right? And whatever issues they had, they understand each other, they resync, you know, and then you know,
it's vulnerability in a weird way. It's like there's this aspect of vulnerability in their music where when they play together, they brush past all the confusing parts and things
and get to a straight heart-to-heart connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And maybe they need that in a conversation, like for the final episode.
Sure.
That could be really good. I think what will probably happen though is that like they'll time skip like, bro, we see him in the first like 5-7 minutes of the episode, like really quickly. Maybe after. How much do you think they would time skip if it was a long time skip?
If it's a long time skip, I feel like, I don't know. That's tough because I feel like around 5 years,
10 years.
If it's a long time skip, I think around 5 years would be a pretty solid amount where it's
they're
like
still young.
They're still young, you know, maybe
but they're definitely adults.
Right, like maybe it's something where it's like he comes back and like Kaoru and Ritsuko like just got married or just had a kid or something like that, you know.
Sure, okay.
And like I'm thinking like if there was like some big life event that he hears about somehow, even though realistically, you know, in this time period he wouldn't really hear about it probably.
Yeah.
Or if it's a long time skip, they could go for the thing of they're kind of like semi-old men.
Oh, you talking decades and
like
stuff.
like if they
Whoa,
like
sure.
now I think that would be something that would be even like that would be a crazy move to make, but I feel like the show could go for that. I hope they don't.
Yeah, I really hope they don't.
I
want 10 years max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want a decade max.
Gotcha.
So the way that it would be is that you would see, you know, Kaoru with some kids and they're his kids.
Yeah.
And Ritsuko. And then it's this whole thing of where
Dad, there's someone at the door.
Yeah. And he's just like, boom.
Right.
And it's just like, like things drop out of hands.
Right,
They
right,
just
exactly.
rush into each other's arms.
Yep.
Ritsuko is just crying and just being like, welcome home, you son of a bitch. You know, like,
right.
like
Takes the newspaper, hits him with it, and then hugs him. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just want a semi-happy ending. This episode really hurt me in the area of when he said, this is a, you know, don't deny a parent gifting something, was basically when he was like, hey, I've seen this angel before. You know, could you take us both to heaven then? Like, you know.
Or
like,
take me instead of her.
Yeah. And I was just like,
Yep.
Like, this isn't this where like things started in the beginning, was that he was underneath the sheet and they were like right up out at the point above like the second floor where there's the door that goes out to the roof.
I can't remember if the whole
like,
thing with the key happened first or after, but yeah, it was definitely like one of the very first things that happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
but okay. Sento's alive. He's out there somewhere. We will have to see what kind of jazz we'll be playing in the next episode. What kind of chaos will we be you know, dancing to the tune of.
Oh yeah, and this is the last thing I want to say kind of for the why the car crash is that even when we have like a finale, right? When we get the conclusion and all of that stuff, however it goes and you know, hopefully it's happy and satisfying and all that stuff, there will still be that part in my mind where theoretically, you know, it would be on the table for another disaster to happen, you know, like right up until the point where the show is about to end, right? Because the precedent has been
they've done this on different levels many times.
Yeah, and this was I feel like the most overt egregious example of this. But that's a with the story with you as a writer, with will you actually give us a satisfying conclusion, or will it be more of these the whole way? And if those happen right up until the very end, then the end can feel kind of arbitrarily decided from on high. You know.
Yeah, and in some ways, a show that's one cour already, I understand having trouble ending it because you don't necessarily have the time to give a satisfying conclusion for this many characters.
Build up and all of that stuff in a short package.
So if anything, having maybe a moment where the show breaks formula, the final episode maybe, being double back on that.
Right, assuage the fears, basically.
Yeah. So please give us a happy ending-ish. Like at least semi-happy. But That's all I have to say about this episode. This episode kind of ruined me.
Yep.
But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.